The first legal steps have been taken to try serial rapist Malcolm Rewa for the third time for the murder of Susan Burdett. The police confirmed to RNZ News this afternoon that the Manukau Crown Solicitor has filed documents in the High Court in Auckland. The move will require the High Court to lift a stay of proceedings believed to be a legal first in New Zealand. Our Justice reporter Edward Gay broke this story this afternoon and he joins us now live. Edward, this goes back 2.5 decades, doesn't it?
Yeah, that's right. Good afternoon, John. That's right, and that's when Susan Burdett was found raped and bludgeoned to death in her South Auckland home. Rewa's DNA was found at the scene, and he was found guilty of Miss Burdett's rape and the sexual attacks on 24 other women over more than a decade, and he was jailed with a minimum non-parole period of 22 years back in '96. But twice a jury failed to reach a decision on the murder charge. And at the time of the second trial, the Solicitor General issued a stay in proceedings, and that effectively, that was a handbrake basically on any further prosecution of Rewa for the murder.
So the Solicitor General issued that stay on Rewa. Of course, as we know and have reported on at great length, Tainapora was wrongfully convicted for the murder.
That's right, twice, and he spent 22 years in prison for crimes he never committed. His convictions, of course, have since been overturned by the Privy Council back in 2015. The government has given him compensation, and indeed just increased that by $1 million to take into account inflation. And since the Privy Council quashed those convictions, there have been calls from all over the place, Miss Burdett's family, from Mr Porter's legal team, for the stay in proceedings to be reviewed for Rewa and for him to be tried for a third time. And we know that a team of homicide investigators have been working on the Susan Burdett case since May.
There has been a lot of comment on this case over the years, hasn't there, Eddie, by golly?
That's right, and only just recently, last year, when now Prime Minister Jacinda Ardern was at that time Labour's justice spokesperson, she said Rewa's case needed to be re-examined. She said the Privy Council's decision to quash Tainapora's convictions was enough of a reason to reopen the case. This action that is being brought in the High Court, it's understood that it's unprecedented in New Zealand to overturn this stay. The Criminal Bar Association's president, Len Anderson, he's previously told Radio New Zealand News that a stay of prosecution has never been lifted before.
Edward Gay, who broke the story this afternoon, our court reporter joining us live by phone. Thank you very much, Edward. Indeed, Malcolm Rewa has been tried twice for the murder of Susan Burdett before. In both trials, as Eddie said, the jury was unable to reach a verdict. After the second trial, the Solicitor General stayed further prosecution of Mr Rewa. As Eddie said, that stay will have to be lifted. Really interesting to see the Independent Police Conduct Authority, some of the work they did on police investigations into Malcolm Rewa. The authority considers that at times police investigative practices were unsatisfactory and fell below what could reasonably be expected. All of this breaking this afternoon. Edward Gay joining us live there.